Welcome to our first video on Kotlin basics. In this video, I will introduce the language Kotlin to you, show some of the learning resources, and go over the variables in Kotlin. Kotlin was built by JetBrains as a replacement for Java so that they could sell more of Intellij Idea. Their plan was to build a language which was fully interoperable with Java and works on JVM so that companies could gradually migrate their code from Java to Kotlin. Unveiled in 2011 and open sourced in 2012, Google announced in 2017 about the first class support for Kotlin in Android. Then in 2019, Google announced that Kotlin would be the preferred language for Android development from now on. Our goal in this course is not to master Kotlin, but to learn enough to be able to code for our Thumbfight app and also to be able to understand what other Android developers are writing and how to follow their code. So let's get started. Okay, so there are two resources which you can use to run and execute Kotlin program. One is the fast and simple way, and the other one is a little harder, but you can keep it longer. So let us see the fast and simple one first. Okay, so what you have to do is go to play.kotlinlang.org and you have a free ready to use compiler for you. So you can just type in your program here and press run here. So this will compile your code and execute. So suppose if I want to change something, I can just change it and run it again. It even has the autofill. So suppose I want to initialize something. So yeah, you can see it will suggest all the variable types and everything, which we will learn about later. So this is the fast and simple way. The other one is by installing an IDE called Intellij Idea. So just Google for Intellij Idea. It is provided by JetBrains, the company behind Kotlin, and it should show you all the options for your operating system. So let's press. So what we need is just for our own education and testing purposes. So we will be going for the community version. So just press download exe. Okay, so our download is getting finished. So we can start installing it. So yeah, our download has finished. Let's click on that and start the installation. So because this is the community edition and we will just be using it for our learning purposes, you can just leave the options to defaults. If you don't have space in the drive, you can change your drive. Otherwise, please stick to the default options. So once the installation is finished, just click on Run Intellij Idea and click on Finish. You will have to read and accept the terms. Once done, click on Continue. You can choose whether you want to share statistics and anonymized data. So yeah, our installation is complete. Now what you want to do is go to New Project. We will be going for Kotlin, which will be using the Kotlin Java runtime. And let's just label it as Kotlin Learnings. Finish. So because Android Studio is based on Intellij Idea, you will find a lot of things to be similar. This will also show you handy tips every time you launch it. If you don't want, you can choose don't show tips. Okay, so yeah, so our IDE is ready and our project is ready. The next thing that we need is a Kotlin file where we can start coding. So let us first create a package. So I'll just give it my name and then I will create a Kotlin class. Actually, you just need a Kotlin file for now, so I'll just name it main. So what you can do is you can remove the class main. You can just type fun which is the short for function, and then main, and then curly braces open and close, and inside that you can type println hello world. You can see here that you will have a green run button just next to your function itself. You can click it and it will start building your code, and then it will execute it. Okay, so our function is executed. You can see that hello world has been printed here. So now we are at par. So we are able to write a Kotlin code and we are able to execute it. You can choose to continue working with the browser if you're more comfortable with that and you don't want to have an additional IDE installed on your system. For this tutorial, we will be continuing our Kotlin learnings on this IDE. So while we are at it, let us explain what this println function is doing. So this function is used to print a statement to the console or your run. Wherever you are running this. If it is a terminal, it will print it to your command prompt or terminal if you are on Mac, and for the IDE, it will be printed here. So println stands for print the statement and then print a new line. So it will print hello world and then it will print a new line so that the next print statement will begin from the next line. So if I print test in the next statement and I run my program, I can see that it will print hello world and then it will print test. If I don't use println and I run the program, it will just print test next to the hello world. So wherever hello world has ended, it will print test next to it. So println is actually used to print whatever you want to print and then add a new line, which will make sure that the next statement starts at the next line. Now, apart from printing strings, so these are actually string literals. Literal stands for any value. So we can even use the print statement to evaluate expressions. So if I just want to do 1 plus 5, the print statement will actually evaluate 1 plus 5 and print that. So you can pass a literal, which is a value, or an expression, or even a variable. So first, we should learn what a variable is. For that, let us first define a variable. So val, which is the short for value, or var, which is the short for variable, count, which is the variable name, and then the type equal to 10. So this is the statement that we have just written. So this is the declaration. This is the start of declaration of the variable. Val stands for value, with something which will not change throughout the execution. And if we put var, which means the value that it is going to hold can change when we are writing the program. The second one after that is the variable name, a name that we will define and give. It can start from alphabets or underscore, but it cannot start with a digit. And next is the variable type. Int is the short for integer or any whole numbers. And the last one is the value, also known as literal. So we have 4 things: the type of the variable, whether it can change or not, the name of the variable, the data type that it is going to hold, and lastly, the value. We will learn later how the variable data type is optional and can be inferred, but for now, we will be writing our variables like this. So let us get back to the program. So here you can see we have written var count int equal to 10, and then we will ask the print statement to print the value of count. So you can see that 10 has been printed. So, and we have learned how to define a variable and use its value. Now, what is a variable? Variable, according to Wikipedia or any other definition, is just a reference to a memory location in the compiler or wherever the virtual machine is running, maybe on your Android phone or on your desktop. So this count variable actually holds a reference to a memory location where we have stored this data 10. Now this data 10 will be stored in bits and bytes, and depending on the data type that we have assigned, it will take 1 byte or 4 bytes or 16 bytes. Now, as we know, we have seen int is a short for integers. There are other types also, such as Boolean, strings, and for floating points, we use float and double, but we will check them out later. So anytime I do a change to this variable, the corresponding data in the memory will also change. So if I do count plus plus, which is a short for count is equal to count plus 1, you can see that the statement will increment the value of count, and then if I print count, it will be 11. So I can also do count plus plus, or I can do plus equal to 1, which is the more modern way or the more preferred way. So let's stop this video here, and in the next video, we will pick up more about variables and how to declare and assign them. Thank you for watching.